Can you speak now?
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. All praises to Allah Azza wa Jal, the creator of heaven and earth and everything that exists in between. And may His everlasting peace and blessings be upon His greatest creation and our Master Sayyidina Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching the first of many, inshallah, live webinar broadcasts that we will be doing. Alhamdulillah. We'll be talking about the Path to Allah series, the journey of man, inshallah. We'll be covering that slowly so you can have an understanding what is our purpose for our existence and what we are doing here. Many times people, we forget that we're not just human beings having a spiritual experience. We're actually spiritual beings having a humanistic experience on this earth. So inshallah, the aim is to cover the journey of man, show you where we come from, and the lessons we can learn, and find out the real reason why we're here. So by the end of the lesson, the student should be able to discover their whole life story and know their own story, which is the basis of self-purification. Students will understand the need of self-purification and what their purpose of life is as well. And if you have any questions during the lecture, by all means, ask the questions as we go along, and I will try to answer the questions if they are relevant straight away. If not, then I can answer them towards the end of the lecture. What's that? Right, and you can ask the questions on the chat section, so if you have any questions, inshallah, then what I will try to do, answer them as we go along. And one the objectives is, after the first lessons, the students will know where we've come from, what we did in our previous life, why we are here now, and why we have to obey Allah Azza wa Jal in this life, and why do we have to do tazkiyah, the purification. What happens after death in the grave, and what will be our eternal end. Inshallah, these we will be covering, and the students will know this towards the end of the lecture. How does this relate to our purpose for our existence? In Surah Shams, Allah Azza wa Jal, He swears 11 times, emphasizing the great importance of the matter. Many people don't realize how important tazkiyah is, and it is first upon every man, woman, and child who is a mu'min to do the tazkiyah. Allah Azza wa Jal swears 11 times in Surah Shams, and then He says, and the reason why any of us swear on anything where Allah Azza wa Jal swears in the Quran is to, Allah Azza wa Jal swears many times in the Quran, and He swears in Surah Wat-Tin, He says Wat-Tin wa Zaytun, He swears by the olive and the fig. He swears many times, and the reason that Allah Azza wa Jal swears before it is the statement that is coming after that, is to give it more status and elevation and the importance of it. So nowhere does Allah Azza wa Jal swear more times than in Surah Shams, and He swears 11 times, and then He says, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. Indeed, the successful one is he who has purified himself. So the importance is there, and everybody around, that this tazkiyah is important. He who has purified himself is the one who is successful. Allah Azza wa Jalla says in the Quran, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. Indeed, the successful one is he who has purified himself. So this sort of purification is further upon everyone. So how does one do that? Well, I will be covering that in a bit. After swearing, God declares that the successful person is one who purifies his soul, will be successful. And whoever pollutes it or corrupts it, corrupts his soul, shall fail or will fail. So the importance of tazkiyah is self-evident from Shams. Today's lesson is directly linked to our purpose for our existence. Only when we know our history, our reason of being sent on this earth, will we have the thirst and want to fulfill our purpose for existence. I mean, once you know where you come from, where you are, and where you're going, then inshallah, then you will know. Now, if you can know your own story, know where you come from. Now, as you can see from the diagram in front of you, there was a period of non-existence. Now, when we call that the period of non-existence, we call it for the non-existence for creation. But Allah Azza wa Jal always existed. Allah Azza wa Jal existed before time and before space. Before there was anything, Allah Azza wa Jal has always been there. Now, Allah Azza wa Jal, He is perfect in all His attributes and in His essence. So Allah Azza wa Jal, He, in all His attributes, is perfect. And He is loving, and He is merciful and compassionate. Now, Allah Azza wa Jal, in all His perfection, He likes Himself. He loves Himself. Every individual who has any attribute, likes his talent or his skill or his thing, is Allah Azza wa Jal, He is all mercy, all compassionate. So He created creation. He willed for creation and He created it. And then once He created all of creation, and He then got all of creation and He offered them something. He offered them a gift, a manna. He offered it to the heavens, the earth, the stars, the planets, the trees, everything, all of creation. And according to Imam Hassan al-Basri, the heavens said, Ya Allah, what is this gift that you're offering? And Allah said, well, with this gift, if you use it according to my will, I will reward you like I've never rewarded anything else. And if you go against my will, I will punish you like I've never punished anything else. Then, according to Imam Hassan al-Basri, they said the heavens cried for 3 days and 3 nights, and they said, Ya Allah, we do not want this. So everything in creation turned it down except for man and jinn. They took on this and that gift was the freedom of will. If you could see everything around you, everything in existence, everything works like clockwork. Everything does as exactly as Allah Azza wa Jal wants them to act. Everything Allah Azza wa Jal has created, He has created nothing in vain. Everything has its purpose. The fly that exists for a day, that has a purpose for its existence, and it fulfills its purpose for existence. If you look at cats and dogs, they live up to 10, 13 years, they've fulfilled their purpose for existence. Look at the whole universe, the lifespan of the universe is billions of years. It fulfills its purpose for its creation. Everything that is created by Allah Azza wa Jal, everything fulfills its purpose for its existence, except for man and jinn. We also have a purpose, but we have the free will as well. So we can either use it according to the will of Allah Azza wa Jal, or we can listen to our own nafs and the shaitan and corrupt ourselves. So then when man and jinn accepted this gift of free will, then Allah Azza wa Jal addressed them. And He said, Alastu bi rabbikum, am I not your Lord? And all the spirits in one voice, they said, Qalu bala, yes indeed, Ya Allah, you are our Lord. So then Allah Azza wa Jal said, that's okay. I will test you. I will send you to the planet Earth. And then there I will test you with desires and your nafs. And he also warned us against the shaitan. He said he is your open enemy. So that was in the land of spirits. A lot of things happened in the land of spirits. The souls, there's the story of Hazrat Adam alayhi salam, that when all um, the descendants of Hazrat Adam alayhi salam was shown to them, they saw Hazrat Dawud alayhi salam, and they said, "Who is that beautiful person?" And they were informed that that was their great great grandson, Hazrat Dawud alayhi salam. And they asked, "How long is his life?" And they were told, and they said, "This is very short." And they said, "I would like to gift 50 years or 60 years of their own life to Hazrat Dawud alayhi salam." So what I'm trying to say is a lot of things that took place in the land of spirits, the world of spirits. And then from there, we came onto this planet Earth. And have we got anybody online? Yeah. If there is any questions, by all means, post them on chat.
Yeah, on the Facebook columns.
On the Facebook columns on the chat. So inshallah, I will try to answer them as we go through. So now on this earth, we will be tested. We will be tested with everything. You will be tested with your health, your wealth, your young age, your youthful age, your middle age, your old age. With your poverty, with your money, you will be tested every day, every second, every week, every year that you live your life, you will be tested. So even if you look at the planet itself, it's a circle, and then that refers to it as being a zero. You are not a hero, you are a zero. If you look at the earth that goes round and round and round, it just means that it's giving you a run around. If you look for how many people came and how many people that it has inside it, you will realize that everybody comes with an empty hand and leaves with an empty hand. Once, Hazrat Isa alayhi salam saw this woman that she was really decked out, beautifully groomed and with lovely clothes. And they asked her, "Who are you?" And she said, "I am the dunya." And they said, "How many lovers do you have?" And she said, "I have billions." And they said, "How many have you been faithful to?" And she said, "Not a single one of them." Then Hazrat Isa alayhi salam said, "Shame on the person who falls for you. This is a temporary world. You will be tested." So then, in the short span of time that we here, if you think about, people sometimes often say that it's a very short life and we don't have very long, and life soon passes you by. Well, that is true, but life really is not that short if you compare it to some of the other creatures that fulfill their purpose. Allah Azza wa Jal has given you sufficient time. You live up to 60, 70, 80 years. Out of that, if you fulfilled all your obligations to do ibadah, you sleep 8 hours a day, you work 8 hours. So out of a 60 years life, you worked 20 years, you slept 20 years. But if you was to fulfill all your obligations, it would take you less than 1 hour a day, and that would be about two and a half, 3 years of your life, which is not too difficult a thing to do. So Allah Azza wa Jal has given you plenty of time, and He's given you ample opportunity to fulfill and to find out what your purpose for existence is. Now, depending on how you spend your life in this world, then your next period of life will be in the world of barzakh. And barzakh just means a veil. And in there, the veils will be lifted. And the Prophet ﷺ said, the qabr will either be a pit of hell or a garden of paradise. Now, in the world of barzakh, a window, a portal will open up. And if you were a purified soul, a good soul, you fulfilled your purpose for your existence on the planet Earth, a big portal will open all the way to Jannah. And you will smell the breezes of Jannah. You will feel the breeze of Jannah, the scent of Jannah. You will feel these coming into your cover. But if you was a bad person and you corrupted your soul and you didn't purify it, it becomes a pit of hell for you. And equally, a portal will open up all the way to Jahannam, to hell, and you will feel the heat of hell. You will smell the stench of hell coming in. Then you will spend a very long time in the world of barzakh. Equally, equally, if you've been a bad person, there will be the Zabi Qabr as well, which is barhaq upon, and they are truthful. And the Prophet ﷺ has explained many times that they give the example of interlocking the fingers, that the rib cages the qabr will open up and then will be squeezed till your ribs are interlocked. God forbid, and protect us from that. Then, on the day of judgment, the day of Hashr, the day of reckoning, the day of 50,000 years, that day, which is a terrifying day. And it will last for 50,000 years because every breath that you ever took, every glance you ever made, every morsel of food that you put in your mouth, every penny that you've ever spent, every word you've ever uttered, all will have to be accounted for. Every step that you took, everything will be accounted for. You will be asked, what was the center of your life? What made you tick? How did you spend your youth? How did you acquire your wealth? How did you spend your wealth? How did you act upon the knowledge that you knew? These are the questions that will be asked on the day of judgment, and everything will be accounted for. And then after that, if you get your scroll of deeds in your right hand, you will enter paradise, and if you get them in your left hand, then you will enter hell. But before you get to there will be the bridge of Sirat that you have to cross, which they say is finer than a hair and sharper than a sword. It takes 500 years to climb up, 500 years to cross, and 500 years to come down from it. And some will cross it with lightning speed, some will fly, some will run, some will walk, some will crawl, and some will fall into the hellfire that is stretched over. So those that are purified, then they will go to Jannah, and those that are not purified, they will go into hellfire. Now that is your journey. Now this is part of your aqaid, this is part of your iman and your belief that Allah has always existed, perfect in all His attributes. the fact that there was a world of spirits where Allah Azza wa Jal addressed the souls and took the covenants of the prophets and to warn you against the shaitan, and then that this life is temporal, that we are going to be held accountable for everything that we do. And this life is basically very simple. It can be summed up in two sentences. Our mashayikh, our teachers tell us that there are two relationships in this world. There is a vertical one and a horizontal one. The vertical one that connects you to Allah Azza wa Jal, and the horizontal one that connects you to the creation. So one is Hakuk al-Allah, the other one is Hakuk al-Ibad. Make sure both your relationships are sound. If you must have a weak relationship, make sure it is the one that connects you to Allah Azza wa Jal. Because Allah Azza wa Jal is the merciful Lord. He is very forgiving. Whereas creation, they are not very forgiving. So make sure you have a good relationship with the creation. So Allah Azza wa Jal will overlook. He is very merciful. He will overlook if there's kami peshi, if there's a little bit lacking in the hukuk Allah with His rights. Allah Azza wa Jal is a very merciful being. He will overlook them. But He says, I will not overlook the rights of people. So everyone has rights upon you. Your parents have rights. Your parents have the right to be honored, respected, obeyed, loved, and cared for in their old age. Your wife, your husband, your spouse, they have rights. Your children have the right. Your children have the right to be fed, clothed, loved, educated. Your neighbor has rights. In fact, you have rights upon yourself. You have the right to make sure you have sufficient sleep. You have the right to make sure you stay clean. You feed yourself. These are the rights upon yourself. They even say, you should ask forgiveness from your mother um, for the pain that she went through when she bore you, because on the day of judgment, she will grab you by the neck and she'll say, Ya Allah, I want compensation this day for the pain that I went through to bear this child of mine who was no good to me in old age and did not listen to me and was no help to me whatsoever. So in this world, there are two relationships. Make sure they're both sound, fulfill the rights of people, and that is how the tazkiyah does. The tazkiyah teaches you how to fulfill the rights of people. And one of the objectives of the tazkiyah is to have compassion upon creation. And many people don't understand what this compassion for creation is. It's not merely just smiling at people or just merely being kind. Truly, what it means is everybody has rights. So, what you do, you fulfill their rights for more than they deserve. And then, if somebody's violated your rights, what you do, you forgive them your rights. So, for an example, if somebody if somebody owes me money, say, let's say for instance they owe me £10, what I should do is just say to them, it's okay, just give me £5. And if I owe them £10, I should offer them £15, give them more than their right is, because their right is only £10. But what I should do is give them more. And if they owe me, then I should say, look, just give me five, forgive them my rights, take less, and that is just a monetary terms. But I'm talking about in all your dealings with people. If they have violated your rights, you forgive them instantly, even if they apologize and you say, look, I've already forgiven you. That is having compassion. And then if you have wronged them, then you give them beyond their right. So that these are the two relationships. And don't forget, and we're all passing through. Somebody visited a saintly person once and went to their house, and this person who was visiting, he looked in his house and he said, where's all your stuff? Where's all your material where your belongings, all your materialistic belongings. And the sheikh said, where's all yours? And the other person said, well, I'm a tourist. And the saint said, well, so am I. So, the Prophet ﷺ said, live in this world like a traveler under a tree, and then he gets up and goes. In the same way, we're just passing through this world. But it's so important how you travel through this world, because you will be held accountable for it. So that covers your journey. So what is your date of birth? Do you know? Do you think the date that you were born on the earth is the date of your existence? Or have you been living centuries before coming to this earth? Well, like I was saying, you're not just a human being having a spiritual experience. You are a spiritual being having a humanistic experience. So you were born centuries and centuries and millions of years ago. Your soul is indestructible. It's one of the most powerful things in the entire universe. It can travel huge distances with the blink of an eye. So your soul is is what is really you. The body that you have is just a clothing that to while you live on this earth. It's like a person when he goes to scuba diving or he goes into the sea, he puts an oxygen mask and he puts on the flippers and he puts on the wet costume. And when he comes out, he takes it all off. In the same way, this physical body that we have, it's only so we could breathe and live and move and eat and sleep, and it's for all these purposes to test us. And once we die, we just discard this body of ours. So why do you think Allah Azza wa Jal created you? What is the purpose of other creations? What is the purpose of our existence? These are the questions you should be asking yourself. So as we were saying, the period of non-existence, the sky, the sun, the moon, the birds, the animals, and the mountains, and everything else in existence were not created by themselves, nor were they created by mankind, and neither were they in pre-existence. Likewise, the angels and paradise and hell, the throne of Allah Azza wa Jal, the divine chair, the sacred tablet, and the pens also did not exist. So Allah created the whole of the universe, including human beings and jinn, only to know and recognize and worship Him. Humans did not bring themselves into existence. That is the reason why they cannot live the kind of life they desire. Rather, they should live in the life according to the way of their Creator wills for them. This is the only way that they can be successful. As we were saying earlier on, there were 4 gatherings and 4 covenants that took place in the world. First assembly of the spirits, the covenant of loyalty, the Muhammadan covenant, and the covenant of obedience. The first assembly of the spirits, Allah says, truly did we offer an amana of trust, of moral responsibility and honesty, and all the duties which Allah has ordained to the heavens and to the earth and the mountains, but they declined to bear it and were afraid of it. But man bore it. Verily, he was unjust to himself. So as you can see, everything else turned it down, except for humans and jinns. They took it upon themselves. Is there any question? And then Allah Azza wa Jal, He addressed all the spirits and He said, am I not your Lord? We've gone through this. Allah created all the spirits and asked them, Alastu bi rabbikum, am I not your Lord? And every spirit amongst mankind replied, oh yes, Allah, you are our Lord. Since the spirits testify to the oneness of Allah, they have been sent down to the earth to prove their practically their loyalty to Allah. And remember, Then Allah took the Muhammadiyah covenant in the assembly of the prophets. And remember the time when Allah took a covenant from the people through the prophet, saying, whatever I give you of the book and the wisdom, and then there comes to you of the book and the wisdom, and there comes to you a messenger fulfilling, which is with you. You shall believe in him and help him. And all the prophets then they accepted. And they also the covenant of obedience. Allah said, did not enjoin upon you, O children of Adam, that you not worship Shaitan, for he is indeed your clear and open enemy. So Allah has already warned us about the temptations of the Shaitan, and not to follow him and not to worship him in any shape or form. Are we following? So inshallah, as you can see, well, we've covered some of the journey of man. So we'll leave it here for a little break, inshallah, and then we'll carry on the lesson a little further in a bit. So we'll bring this to a close now. Then inshallah, please try to join us again, same time, at 7:30. Next week, inshallah, as willing, and we'll carry on the series from there, inshallah. Thank you, Jazakallah khair. May Allah reward you for coming, and watching and participating. Please tell your friends and family to join in and watch and make this a success. Jazakallah khair. Thank you for being here. Thank you very much.